Welcome to the Intellectual Army. I am the serial intellectual, and you guys know I am very passionate about personal development. Personal development to me is when you experience growth in self awareness, the idea that you know who you are, you know who you're likely to be, and you know what people are likely to experience when they're with you. Relational aptitude. That simply means being able to do relationships well, all different types of relationships at work, at home, with the children, with family, personal skills. You have skills, you have all different types of skills. And what does it look like for you to experience growth in those skills? And then vocational effectiveness, whether you're an entrepreneur, a wantrepreneur, or you're in the middle of working in an organization and you're trying to just be better at that, and overall fulfillment in life. Those five things to me are what personal development is all about. Now, the one thing that will cause you to not make progress in personal development is the pause. What is the pause? Let's talk about the pause for a little bit here, because I developed the pause exercise specifically so that you guys could have a tool that you would use by yourself. You could use it by yourself to help you to identify, understand, engage, and actually determine whether you're going to listen to your pause or not. So let's talk about the pause for a little bit. So a pause is an active and internalized emotion or thought that has the power to stop us from making choices and acting on them. Let me say that again. A pause is an active and internalized emotion or thought that has the power to stop us from making choices and acting on them. Simply put, pauses cause us to slow down, to hesitate, to stop in regards to what we want to do, we're going to do, planning to do, whether they're goals, dreams, and ambitions, right? That's what they are. Now, there's a few facts about pauses that we need to really consider. One is everybody has pauses. We all have pauses. Like it's irrevocably human to have a pause. There's not a person on the planet that doesn't deal with a pause. Now, there's some people that you see on social media, or you see they're athletes or people you admire, and it doesn't seem like they have a pause, because when they fix their sights on something and they determine they want to go, they just go. And you go, well, that person doesn't struggle at all. They do. They've just mastered the skills of identifying the thing that makes them want to pause, understanding it, and then engaging it, and then making a determination on whether they should listen to it. And they do it like this. It's become habitual, like driving a car. So it doesn't seem like they have a pause. They got a pause. They just learned how to deal with it. What if you could learn how to deal with it? Everyone has a pause. Pauses are birthed and maintained by a few things. One, like, where do they come from? What's their origins? Predispositions. Some of us are more predisposed to be pausy. We just hesitate more. This is more of the analytical mind. This is more of the people whose primary emotion would be fear. And when your primary emotion is fear, you're always looking for a safe place. So you're more kind of pedantic in your approach. You're more slow in your approach to life, right? But also the past, because when we experience trauma, hurt, pain, displeasure in the past, then we like, well, I don't want to do that. And that can give us a real kind of hesitant, like, I don't want to be hurt. Let me do this to where I can skate, right? But also, present circumstances can have you encountering a lot of pauses. Maybe it's a diagnosis. Maybe it's the threat of something. You're feeling like you're losing something. You already lost something. You're hurting, and it can make you very hesitant. You just lost your job. You just did something real stupid and you lost a friendship. You lost, like, all those types of things, like I'm going through in my life. It can make you kind of hesitant. Am I sure? Can I really do this? And then there's potential circumstances that can make us pause. What would that be like? Well, if I start this business, what if I lose all my money? That's a potential circumstance that makes you go, that's a pause, right? So predisposition, past, Present circumstances and potential circumstances are all elements that help form these pauses. And the key is self-awareness in all of them. Now, most of our pauses operate on a subconscious level and they're on autopilot and they're never questioned. And they pretty much are designed to protect us. And we typically never engage them and convert them to friends so that they serve us. So they're typically antagonists and things that hurt us rather than help us. Another fact about pauses is that pauses show up in the form of an emotion or a thought. When you experience a pause, it's an emotion or a thought. Another fact, the primary purpose of the pause, I already said this, is to protect us. Pauses are our chief obstacles when we're trying to make decisions and take actions. What's the opposite of a pause? A go. An action, right? The opposite of a pause is an action. So if you want to do something and you're hesitating, that's a pause. And that pause is either a thought or emotion. And that pause is either rooted in your predisposition, the past, a present circumstance, or a potential circumstance. You know what the primary emotion of pauses is? It's fear. Fear is a proximity-based emotion. It's like if you're afraid of heights, you're not afraid until you get around high things. It's fear. It's always fear, right? So these pauses, if not recognized and understood, they can be very, very destructive. This is why I created the pause exercise. So pauses, what they do is they don't stay stagnant. What they do is they grow like trees. They'll get bigger. They grow roots unless they're altered, edited, repositioned, reconciled, understood, assigned, engaged. They're just going to grow and grow and grow and grow and grow because their chief design is to protect you. And they will do that. And they will keep you stuck for decades in something and in things that you don't want to be in. They will keep you from doing what you really want to do. They will, because they think they're protecting you. Now, here's the thing. No pause will ever become a friend without intentionally engaging and recognizing it and identifying it and understanding it, and then finally exercising your most powerful gift. You know what that is? The freedom to choose. If you want to be able to exercise that more in regards to pauses, then for most of us, that means understanding your pause, making sure you know what it is, and learning what it's trying to do, because not all pauses are bad. Some pauses are good. How do you know the difference? That's why I created the pause exercise, so that you can walk through it yourself and you can get to the end and say, now I think I have enough information to make a decision as to whether I should listen to this pause or not. The reality of it is I know this is true for me. I was never equipped or given a tool to help me to understand my pause. Now, some people will be like, well, I don't need that. I just do this and I just do that. Fine, that's good for you. But for me, it worked better for me to be able to actually understand my pause and to engage with it and figure it out. And so that I can make a decision whether I'm going to listen to it or not. Now, the last thing I'm going to say about these pauses, they resist change. They don't go down easy. So if you're not willing to battle a little bit on some of these and a lot on others, then this is not for you. This is not for the sleight of hand, and this isn't like a lotto ticket thing. You buy it and woohoo, like it's some work. Now look, pauses are found in individuals, found in marriages, parenting, dating, family, friendships, organizations, whether it be macro or micro change, situations with trauma, they're found everywhere. And this is applicable for everyone in any circumstance. So here's the good news. You can learn how to do this. You can learn how to identify, understand, engage, and determine whether you should listen to your pause or not. You can learn how to do it. And you know what they say, and you know what is true. The more you practice something, the better you become at it. You can learn that. You really can. So now you have to determine whether you're going to listen to your pause, because many of you right now have a pause and your pause is saying, well, I don't know if I should do this, and I don't know if I should do the exercise, and what if I get confused, and what if it's a waste of time, and what if it's a trap, and what if he's trying to do this and that, and that's your pause. I told you, the pause is very protective. It is very subversive. It has tentacles. And if you've never dealt with your pause, when you start to deal with your pause and you start to get like the real picture of how deep and how prevalent your pause is and how integrated it is into your thoughts and your emotions, you're going to be shocked at how deep the roots of your pauses go. And then you'll start to understand why it's so protective of you. So there's only one way through this, and that is to say, hey, I'm going to make a choice to begin the day to engage my pause. I know there's some of you watching this, and there's things you want to do. There's things you need to do. There's things you have to do. You've been longing to do, and you haven't done it because there's something telling you, don't do that. Be careful. I'm not sure. Plan it. This. You need to go after that thing. You need to understand it. You need to get yourself in a position to where you can make a conscientious and free choice as to whether you are going to listen to it or not. You may choose to listen to it, but you may choose to not. But it's not going to want to let you get to that point, because then you're free to listen to it or free to not. I want you to be free. Grace and peace.